Here we have a binomial expansion question where we're multiplying two expansions together. The question says find the first four terms of the expansion. We've got 1 plus 2x squared over 1 plus 3x cubed, and we need to state the range for which the expansion is valid. So we can rewrite this fraction as two expansions multiplied together, because dividing by a power of 3 is the same as timesing by the power of -3. So I can rewrite this as 1 plus 2x squared multiplied by 1 plus 3x to the power of a -3. And now I can expand them both and then multiply them together. So the first one, we've just got a normal quadratic. We can expand it by rewriting it as two brackets multiplied together and expand them. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2x is 2x, 2x times 1 is 2x, and 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And I can collect the like terms. I've got 2x and 2x, so they add to make 4x. So that's the first expansion. The first one's been expanded. Now I need to expand the second one. And I'm going to use this line of from the formula book. So this is in the formula book, and it's for a binomial expansion in the form 1 plus something to the power of something. And so we've got 1 plus 3x to the power of -3. So in our question, we're going to change the x into 3x. So x is going to be 3x. We're going to change x into 3x, and we're going to change n into -3. Apart from that, we're just substituting in. We're finding the first four terms. So let's give that a go. So we're leaving this one here. That's not going to change. We're expanding this. We've already got it in the form 1 plus something to the power of something. So we can just start expanding. So the first bracket stays the same. So we've got 1 as the first term, plus n times x. So -3 times 3x, plus n times n minus 1. So n is -3, n minus 1 is -4, over 1 times 2, which is 2, times x squared. So that's our 3x squared. That's the first 1, 2, 3 terms. The next term is going to be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 over 1 times 2 times 3. 1 times 2 times 3 is 6, times our x cubed, which is 3x cubed. So now we just need to simplify this. We can use a calculator, so we don't have to do everything in our heads. So the first term's 1. -3 times 3 is -9. We've got -9x. And let's do the next one on the calculator. So we've got -3 times -4 over 2 times 3 squared. I'm just missing out the x. I'm typing everything else in the calculator. So this is going to be for the x squared term. So we've got 54, positive 54 plus 54 x squareds. And then for the x cubed, again, we can type it into the calculator. So it's -3 times -4 times -5. Over 1 times 2 times 3, which was 6. And the 3 is now cubed. So negative 270. Negative, or take away 270 x cubes. So now we've expanded them both. Now we need to expand these brackets. So multiply the terms in the first bracket by the terms in the second bracket. And we only need anything up to x cubed. So if anything is going to go over x cubed, we can ignore it. So let's start by multiplying everything in the second bracket by a 1. So that will leave it the same. So we have 1 minus 9x plus 54x squared minus 270x cubed. Then we can multiply everything by 4x. So 4x times 1 is 4x. 4 9s are 36, and it's a positive times a negative, so negative 36, that's x squareds. 4 54s will be 216. It's a positive times a positive, 216x cubed. And we don't need to work out the next one because it'll be to the power of 4. 4x times 270x cubed will be to the power of 4, and we don't want it, so we're going to leave it. So moving on to the 4x squared. 4x squared times 1 is 4x squared. 4x squared, also 4 9s. 4 9s are 36 again. Positive times a negative is a negative. So take away 36x cubed. And again, the next term will be to the power of 4. We don't need it, so we're going to leave it. So finally, collecting like terms. So we've just got 1 as the number. Then x's, negative 9 plus 4. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. X squareds. 54, take away 36 plus 4. Let's just use the calculator. So 54, take away 36 plus 4. So 22 x squareds, and x cubes. We've got negative 270, negative 270, plus 216, minus 36. So negative 90. Negative 90, or take away 90, x cubed. So there are the first 4 terms of our expansion. So the second part says state the range for which the expansion is valid. Now we're told that this expansion, so whenever we use this, it's only valid when the mod of x is less than 1. So we used this expansion for this bracket for the 1 plus 3x, and x was 3x. So it's valid when the mod of 3x is less than 1. So it's valid when the mod of 3x is less than 1. And if we want to, we can rewrite that. So divide both sides by 3 and say mod of x is less than a third. So x can be anything between minus a third and plus a third. And we can even rewrite that as x is less than the mod of 1/3. So that is the range for which this expansion is valid. Here's another question. So find the first 4 terms of this expansion and state the range for which it's valid. So we're doing the same thing again. So I can rewrite a division as a multiplication by changing the power to negative. So I've got 2 plus x cubed multiplied by 4 plus x to the power of minus a half. And I can expand my cubic by just writing it as 3 brackets multiplied together. So 2 plus x times 2 plus x times 2 plus x. So I can expand these brackets. To do that, I'm going to leave one bracket as it is and expand the other two. So I'm going to leave the first one here and expand these two brackets. So 2 2s are 4. 2x's are 2x. X times 2 is 2x. And x times x is x squared. And I've still got the 4 plus x to the power of minus a half on the end. I can simplify the bracket I just expanded. 2x and 2x make 4x. And now I can expand these two brackets. So 2 4s are 8. 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times x squared is 2x squared. And then x times 4 is 4x. X times 4x is 4x squared. And x times x squared is x cubed. And collecting like terms, so I've got 1x cubed. I've got 2x squareds and 4x squareds, so I've got 6x squareds. I've got 8x and 4x, which gives me 12x, and I've got an 8. So my first expansion is done. So I need to expand a second one, and I'm going to use this line of the formula book again, but it needs to have a 1 in front. We can only use this when it's 1 plus something to the power of something. I've got a 4 here. So I can say 4 plus x to the power of minus a half is the same as, I'm going to take 4 outside of this. I'm going to factorize out the 4. So it's the same as 4 to the power of minus a half times 1. 4 1s are 4. And what if I divide x by 4? I get x over 4 to the power of minus a half. So I've taken 4 outside of this bracket. I've taken 4 out of, divided 4 by 4, which got me a 1, and divided x by 4, which gave me x over 4. And this 4 is still at the same power, to the power of minus a half. And I can even change that. So 4 to the power of minus a half. Power of a half means square root. And the negative means it's flipped over. So the square root of 4 is 2. The reciprocal of 2 is a half. So it's a half times 1 plus x over 4 to the power of minus a half. So now I can expand this. It's now in the right form. That's how I wanted it. So 1 plus something to the power of something. So my x is going to be x over 4. And my n, so my x is x over 4. So I'm going to change x into x over 4. And I'm going to change n into minus a half. So now I can write the expansion for this. So I'm going to write the first bracket. So I've still got my x cubed plus 6x squared plus 12x plus 8. And it's multiplied by half times this expansion. So the first term is 1. And then it's plus n times x minus a half times x over 4 times plus the next term, which is n times n minus 1. So minus a half times minus 3 over 2 over 1 times 2, which is 2, times x squared. So x over 4 squared. So that's the first 1, 2, 3 terms. The next one is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 over 1 times 2 times 3, which is 6, x cubed. So x over 4 cubed. We can use a calculator to simplify. So I'm going to rewrite my first bracket. So times a half times my expansion. So we're going to simplify this expansion. The first term is 1. The next term, minus a half times x over 4. So it's going to be negative, and half times x over 4 is x over 8, or 1/8 x. For the next term, we can use the calculator. So we've got minus a half. So minus a half times minus 3 over 2 over 2 times x over 4. So I'm going to leave out the x and just write 1 over 4. It's going to be our x squared term. Squared. So 3 over 128. So plus 3 over 128 x squared. And for our x cubed term, we've got minus a half times negative 3 over 2 times negative 5 over 2. Negative 5 over 2 over 6 times 1/4 to the power of 3. So negative 5 over 1024, negative 5 over 1024, and that's our x cubed term. So we can, well, let's half all of these first. So we've still got our first expansion. Going to leave that as it is and just rewrite it. Then we've got to half all of the terms in our second expansion. So half of 1 is half. Half of an 1/8 is a 16th. Half of 3 over 128. So we're going to double the denominator. So that would be 256. And again, we're doubling the denominator. That's x squared. So it's 5 over 2048 x cubed. And now we need to expand. So expand these two brackets. Multiply our two expansions together. So we want everything up to x cubed. So we're going to have x cubed times a half, which is half x cubed. We don't want x cubed times anything else. That'll be bigger than x cubed. So let's move on to our 6x squared. So 6x squared times a half is 3x squared. 6x squared times negative a 16th x is negative, so 6 over 16, which is 3/8. And that's x cubed. So we don't want to go any further than that. So we'll move on to our 12x. 12x times a half is 6x. 12x times our negative 16th x. So 12 over 16 is 6 over 8, or 3 over 4. So negative 3/4 x squared. And we can use the calculator. So 12 times 3 over 256. I'm going to put that in the calculator. So 12 times 3 over 256. 9 over 64. So we've got 9 over 64 x cubed, and we don't want to go any further than that. So we're on to our 8. 8 times a half is 4. 8 times negative 16th. So negative 8 times the 16th is a half. Half x. 8 times 3 over 2, 5, 6 is 3 over 32 x squared, and 8 times 5 over 2048, so it's going to be a negative over 2048, so it's negative 5 over 256 x cubed. So it's just a case of simplifying now. So we've got our number, which is just 4. Our x terms, we have 6x minus a half x. So we can use the calculator. 6 minus a half is 11 over 2. X squareds, we've got 3 minus 3 quarters plus 3 over 32. So 3 minus 3 quarters plus 3 over 32. 75 over 32. That's x squared. And for our x cubes, we've got a half minus 3/8 plus 9 over 64 minus 5 over 256. So 63 over 256 plus 63 over 256 x cubed. So there's our answer. For what range is it valid? So where we use this line of the formula book, it's only valid when mod x is less than 1. So the x we used was x over 4. So it's valid when x over 4, the mod of x over 4, is less than 1. We can multiply both sides by 4 and say mod x is less than 4. Or we can rewrite it as x is less than the mod of 4. So x is anything between negative 4 and positive 4.